This time I'm Industrial Maker. Not only am I going to show you how to make this parametric shelf, but the surprisingly simple process that you can use to make all kinds of parametric furniture like it. I designed this shelf with a really cool piece of free software that allows you to take all kinds of organically shaped 3D models, and then it slices them up and automatically generates a two-dimensional cutout template that you can export in a PDF or other formats. I'm going to go into more detail on that design process and software later, but first I'm going to show you how with the PDF plans that I've generated, you can basically just print these out and use these templates to cut out pieces for this shelf with your jigsaw or bandsaw. The first step is simply to break down the sheet goods to a size you can handle when cutting from a template. Here I'm using 1/2-inch plywood. Next, we'll set up the template for cutting. If you make the shelf, the width is about 23 inches, so you have to join together 3 sheets of paper for each piece. I used a glue stick to adhere the paper template to the plywood and cut it out. This type of glue sands off really easily later on. The only cut that really needs to be straight is the back side of each shelf. You can either use a factory edge on your plywood or an edge cut with a table or circular saw for that, then cut the rest of the wave with the bandsaw or jigsaw. I used a jigsaw here since going a bit astray from the template doesn't really matter with an organic shape like this. So the jigsaw got pretty good results. The curves are good and the lines are straight, and I'm confident that you could cut out all 13 pieces for the shelf with the jigsaw and get a good result. You could also do this on a bandsaw if you wanted a bit more precision. However, I was thinking maybe while I'm getting these cut out, I could also get some video editing done if I cut out the rest of the pieces on my new X-carve. Before we get to the carve for the shelf pieces, let's take a closer look at the design process. I started with Fusion 360, which is free to download and use, and I used its sculpt environment. Fusion sculpting is incredibly simple and intuitive and allows you to push and pull a 3D surface or object into whatever type of organic shape you can dream up. For this design, I started with a sculpt surface and just played with the shape until I got a wave-like structure that I found pleasing to my eye. I wanted it to generally slope so the shelves got wider towards the top and have a couple of pronounced vertical ripples. Now I create a simple 3D cube and use the wavy surface that I previously created to split that cube into 2 separate bodies. I hide the upper one of those bodies and voila, that leaves us with the shape of the shelving unit that we want. Now for the really cool part. All I have to do is export this body into the Fusion Slicer plugin. Then I just tell the Slicer plugin what kind of material I'm using, in this case 1/2-inch plywood, and select the Interlock Slices option. And then this plugin automatically generates all the 2-dimensional pieces in the material that I selected, which interlock together to form that 3D wave shape. Now one thing you'll notice here is that slice direction might be different than what you want, but all you have to do is rotate the axis of slicing and then you're done designing. Then with one click of a button, you can generate a PDF template on the exact size plywood sheets that you specify so you can cut them out with a jigsaw or bandsaw. But you can also generate a vector file for these templates so you can cut them out on a CNC, which is what we're going to do next. Then it's back to the shop to rip down the pieces of plywood so that they'd fit on my Aventables x-carve. I used Affinity Designer to convert the EPS file from Slicer to an SVG format that works with Aventables easel software. I uploaded the SVG to easel and I was ready to carve. For those of you that want to carve this shelf at home, I've got a link to my easel file in the description below, and it's all set up for you so you can carve everything from 3 28-inch by 24-inch plywood sheets. While this carve is finishing up, let's take a minute to hear from this video's sponsor, Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with more than 25,000 classes in design, art, business, basically whatever you're into, Skillshare will likely have a course. You all know that this channel is all about learning and experimenting with new designs, materials, and processes. And so Skillshare was really a perfect fit for me. I took Skillshare's course, Learn Fusion 360 in 30 days in order to gain a lot of the skills that I used for this project. I found the course to be really intuitive and well organized and a much more efficient way to learn than just randomly watching YouTube videos. Now you guys know that I love YouTube just as much as all of you, but when it comes to really doing a deep dive into learning something, well, you know what I mean. Right now, Skillshare is offering the first 500 of my subscribers free 2 months premium membership, which gives you unlimited access to all of Skillshare's courses via the link in the description below. So go hit them up before they're gone. Skillshare is a big supporter of the maker community and a supporter of this channel, so it definitely helps me out if you go check them out via that link, and you'll learn something too. So total win-win. Now, let's get back to the build. I was able to fit the whole project onto 3 2-foot by 4-foot sheets of 1/2-inch plywood, so we have a bit more carving to do before processing the parts. One trick I learned by the 3rd sheet was to sand the edges of the piece while they were still clamped to the X-carve. At first I did it by hand and it wasn't too bad, but then I grabbed my big boy sander and made super fast work of it. The on-table sanding takes care of all the wispy edges left by an upcut bit, but you still have to remove the tabs. The tabs are what are left on the workpiece to keep it from moving during the carve, and they're easy to sand off or remove with a chisel. One of the very cool things about using the slicer software with the CNC is the tolerances for cutting these slots are so precise that you can just press fit these together if you're careful about measuring the width of your material. So you can do this and assemble it without any tools whatsoever. Then I hit my first real snag in the project. When I put the pieces together, I discovered I should have made the tolerances for the slots a touch larger, maybe by a couple hundredths of an inch. Second, I selected a square corner for the slots in Slicer, which results in the curved inner corners when you use a router bit. To make the slots fit together more smoothly, I did have to take everything apart again and do an hour or so of hand sanding. And while I had everything apart, I decided I would go ahead and paint the shelves. I also masked off the edges of the plywood so that the contrast between the raw edges and the paint would really highlight the wavy shape of the shelves. Then there's more sanding, which I'll spare you the pain of watching to get rid of paint that got in the slots, and finally I could assemble the shelf. I decided to use a French cleat to hang the shelf, and I had to sand away some of the paint on the back of the shelf so that I could glue one side of the cleat to it. I guess this is a double audible because I just changed my mind again and decided to paint them gray. Clearly I like the design as I go. Leave a comment below, let me know if you think I made the right call, or maybe you would have painted them another color altogether. If you're new here and you like what you saw, make sure to hit that subscribe button and the bell button so you get notified about all my future builds. One other really cool thing, because I had this model in Fusion 360, I 3D printed some drawers for small part storage. And those drawers follow the wave shape exactly. Besides that, I really find that thin shelves and drawers are a great way to organize small things in the shop. I think it's going to be a great little addition and could really help organize the shop while also looking really, really cool, which is the only way I could actually motivate myself to make shop furniture. So that's it for this time. Much love to everyone. I'll see you next time.